Have you ever felt that strange sensation, that subtle whisper from the universe telling you that something was meant specifically for you? Right now, as your eyes scan these words, ask yourself, why this message? Why today? Why you? There are no coincidences in a universe governed by perfect order. This message appearing before you at this precise moment is what spiritual teachers call a divine appointment, a cosmic intersection of time, message, and soul. The universe has been orchestrating countless events, shifting countless variables, aligning countless circumstances, all to ensure that these words would reach you at exactly this moment when your soul is ready to receive them. For decades, the greatest minds in spiritual psychology have understood something profound. We don't find wisdom. Wisdom finds us when we're ready. Think about the books that changed your life, the conversations that shifted your perspective, the chance encounters that altered your path. None were random. Each was a carefully crafted invitation from the universe, extended exactly when you needed it most. This message is no different. It has traveled across time and space, navigating the intricate web of possibility to arrive at this precise moment in your consciousness. The fact that something within you compelled you to continue reading confirms what your deepest self already knows. This is meant for you. What happens next is extraordinary. When a message finds its intended recipient at the perfect moment, it creates what quantum physicists call a resonance point, a moment when external information aligns perfectly with your internal state, creating a harmonic vibration that can literally restructure the neural pathways in your brain. This is why certain messages can trigger such profound shifts in our perception. It's not just information being processed. It's information that perfectly matches a question your soul has been asking, perhaps without you even being consciously aware of it. This synchronicity creates an opening, a momentary thinning of the veil between your current reality and what's possible. The timing of this connection is no accident. Perhaps you've been feeling restless lately, sensing that something needs to change, but unsure what or how. Maybe you've experienced strange coincidences, recurring numbers, or dreams that seem to be guiding you towards something. These are the universe's way of preparing you for this moment, this threshold of transformation. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And right now, in this moment, something within you is ready. The universe doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't waste energy. If this message has found you, it's because you are precisely where you need to be to receive its wisdom. Now take a deep breath and allow yourself to fully arrive in this moment of possibility. There's something extraordinary sleeping within you, a power so immense that if you fully grasped its magnitude, it would instantly transform how you experience every aspect of your life. This dormant force isn't something you need to acquire or develop. It's already woven into the very fabric of your being. It's the same power that causes a tiny acorn to burst through solid ground and eventually become a towering oak tree. It's the power that enables birds to navigate across continents with pinpoint precision. It's the power that orchestrates the perfect symphony of your 37 trillion cells, working in harmony without your conscious direction. And here's the astonishing truth that most people never realize. This same force is available to consciously create the life you truly desire. Throughout history, the world's greatest achievers, visionaries, and spiritual masters have understood a fundamental truth that most of humanity has forgotten. They recognized that human beings are not merely physical bodies moving through space, but powerful creators constantly shaping reality through their consciousness. Einstein, Tesla, Buddha, Gandhi, and countless others across diverse fields all arrived at the same profound understanding. Consciousness precedes matter. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states aren't just passive reactions to the world around you. They are active forces generating your experience of reality. This isn't metaphorical or philosophical. It's the fundamental operating principle of the universe itself, now being validated by quantum physics in ways that were unimaginable just decades ago. What keeps most people trapped in lives of limitation and quiet desperation isn't a lack of resources, opportunities, or abilities. It's a profound amnesia about who they truly are and what they're capable of creating. Society has programmed you since childhood to see yourself as small, separate, and subject to external forces beyond your control. You've been taught to seek permission, validation, and approval from outside yourself. You've been conditioned to believe that your circumstances dictate your possibilities, rather than understanding that your consciousness creates your circumstances. This collective hypnosis is the single greatest tragedy of human existence. Not because suffering exists, but because most people never realize they hold the key to their own liberation. The moment you begin to awaken to your true nature as a conscious creator, everything changes. The problems that once seemed insurmountable reveal themselves as opportunities for growth. The limitations that once imprisoned you dissolve into possibilities. The fears that once paralyzed you transform into fuel for courageous action. This awakening isn't about adopting a new belief system or following a specific spiritual path. It's about remembering what your soul has always known beneath the layers of conditioning and forgetting. It's about reclaiming the truth of who you are, a powerful, divine being temporarily experiencing human form with the unlimited capacity to manifest whatever you can clearly envision with emotional conviction. The question isn't whether this power exists within you, it's whether you're ready to remember and reclaim it. What if I told you that there's an invisible force field surrounding you right now, one that determines what experiences, opportunities, relationships, and resources can enter your life? This barrier isn't physical, yet it's more powerful than any material obstacle you'll ever face. It's constructed entirely of your beliefs, expectations, and the energetic frequency you consistently maintain. Like a radio tuned to a specific station, you can only receive the broadcasts that match your frequency. The life you're currently experiencing, every detail of it, is a perfect reflection of this invisible barrier. Not because the universe is judging you, or because you don't deserve more, but because this is the fundamental law that governs reality. You cannot experience what you cannot first become in consciousness. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change their external circumstances, without ever addressing the internal frequency that created those circumstances in the first place. They chase new relationships while carrying the same relationship patterns. They pursue financial abundance while harboring deep-seated beliefs about scarcity and unworthiness. They seek health transformations while maintaining the same stress, responses, and emotional patterns that contributed to their illness. It's like planting roses, but continuing to water weeds, and then wondering why the garden isn't flourishing. This misalignment between desired outcomes and internal state is the primary reason why so many people feel stuck in cycles of frustration, working harder, but never experiencing the breakthrough they desperately seek. The barrier becomes particularly rigid through what psychologists call confirmation bias, our tendency to notice, interpret, and remember information that confirms our existing beliefs. If you believe life is a struggle, your brain will efficiently filter your experiences to find evidence supporting that belief, while simultaneously dismissing contrary evidence. If you believe opportunities are scarce, you'll become blind to the abundance of possibilities surrounding you daily. This isn't a conscious process. It happens below the threshold of awareness, creating a self-reinforcing loop that makes your current reality seem like the only possible reality. The invisible barrier doesn't just determine what can enter your life, it determines what you can even perceive as possible. The revolutionary understanding that changes everything is this: the barrier isn't fixed. It can be dissolved and reconstructed in any moment through conscious choice. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak, and every action you take is either reinforcing your current frequency or shifting it. The masters of manifestation throughout history understood that transformation doesn't happen by focusing on what you don't want or fighting against current limitations. It happens by deliberately cultivating the internal state that resonates with what you desire to experience. When you change your frequency first, external reality has no choice but to reorganize itself accordingly. This isn't magical thinking. It's the most practical approach to creation once you understand the mechanics of consciousness and reality. There's a profound deception that has kept humanity in chains for centuries, a lie so pervasive that most people never question its validity. The deception is this, that you are separate from what you desire. This illusion of separation is the root of all seeking, all striving, and ultimately all suffering. It creates the false belief that what you want exists out there somewhere in the future, and that you must struggle, sacrifice, and overcome tremendous obstacles to eventually reach it. This perspective turns life into an endless chase, always pursuing but never quite arriving, always striving but never truly being fulfilled. It's the hamster wheel of human existence, and it's built entirely on a misunderstanding about the nature of reality and desire. The truth that spiritual masters have been teaching for millennia is that desire itself is not random. The very fact that you desire something specific is evidence that it already exists within you in seed form. Just as an oak tree doesn't desire to become something entirely foreign to its nature, your authentic desires are actually the universe speaking through you, revealing aspects of your true essence that are seeking expression. Your desires aren't telling you what you lack. They're showing you what you already are at the soul level. This profound shift in understanding transforms the entire experience of manifestation. Rather than chasing external outcomes from a place of lack, you begin to recognize desire as an invitation to embody more of your authentic nature. Society has conditioned you to believe that desire is about acquisition, getting something you don't have to feel complete. But the masters understand that true manifestation is actually about revelation, revealing what was always there beneath layers of forgetting and false identification. This is why willpower and forced action often fail to create lasting change. When you believe you need to get something outside yourself to be whole, you're operating from a fundamental misalignment with reality. The struggle isn't necessary. The journey isn't about becoming something you're not. It's about unveiling what you've always been. This understanding doesn't diminish the practical aspects of manifestation, but it completely transforms the energy and consciousness from which you approach the creative process. The greatest liberation comes when you realize that what you've been seeking has always existed within you. This doesn't mean your external reality doesn't matter. Quite the opposite. Your external circumstances provide the perfect mirror to show you where you're aligned with your true nature and where you're still entangled in the illusion of separation. When you understand this, manifestation becomes less about forcing change through willpower and more about allowing your authentic essence to express itself through you. The question shifts from, how can I get what I want, to who must I become to naturally attract and embody what I desire? This single shift changes everything because it moves you from the energy of lack, which can never create abundance, to the energy of wholeness, from which all authentic creation flows. If these words have resonated in your heart, if you feel that inner fire ignite as you read these lines, it is not coincidence. The universe has brought you here today for a powerful reason, and to make sure you continue to receive these transformational messages directly on your path of spiritual awakening. Subscribe now to this channel and activate the bell for notifications. One of the most limiting beliefs that keeps people trapped in cycles of unfulfillment is the illusion of time. Specifically, the idea that meaningful change must be gradual, requiring months or years of incremental progress. This perspective creates a dangerous pattern of perpetual postponement, where your most authentic life always exists in some distant future, rather than in the present moment. "I'll be happy when" becomes the unconscious mantra, with happiness, fulfillment, and self-acceptance always conditional on future achievements or circumstances. But this assumption about the nature of transformation contains a fundamental flaw that has been exposed by both quantum physics and the lived experiences of those who have undergone profound awakenings. The revolutionary truth is that transformation doesn't happen in time. It happens outside of time, in moments of complete presence. When you're fully present, without the mental projections of past or future, you access what Einstein called the now, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. From this state of consciousness, change doesn't require the linear progression we've been taught to expect. Instead, transformation occurs through quantum leaps, sudden shifts in perception that instantly reorganize your entire reality. These moments of insight or revelation can accomplish in seconds what might otherwise take years of gradual effort, not because they defy natural law, but because they operate according to higher laws that transcend conventional understanding. The most profound shifts in human consciousness throughout history have occurred not through gradual evolution, but through revelatory experiences that instantly dissolved old paradigms and established new ones. Paul on the road to Damascus, Buddha under the Bodhi tree, Einstein visualizing himself riding on a beam of light. These transformative moments didn't unfold gradually over time. They happened in flashes of insight that forever altered how these individuals perceived and interacted with reality. What's crucial to understand is that these quantum shifts aren't reserved for spiritual masters or geniuses. They're available to anyone who learns to access states of consciousness beyond the conditioned mind with its time-bound thinking. This very moment, the eternal now in which you're reading these words, contains all the power you'll ever need to completely transform your life. Not because some external force will magically change your circumstances, but because a shift in your consciousness in this moment can dissolve the perceptual patterns that have been creating your experience of limitation. When you fully grasp this truth, you no longer postpone your authentic life or make your happiness conditional on future outcomes. Instead, you recognize that awakening to your true nature and power happens now or not at all. The question isn't whether profound change is possible in this moment. It absolutely is. The question is whether you're willing to be fully present to the infinite possibility that exists when you step outside the illusion of time and into the reality of now. Words are not merely sounds or symbols used to communicate. They are vibrational forces that literally shape the fabric of reality. Every word you speak carries a specific frequency that ripples through the quantum field, attracting experiences that match its vibration. The ancient mystics understood this when they taught that in the beginning was the Word, a profound recognition that sound and language precede physical manifestation. This isn't metaphorical. It's the fundamental mechanism of creation operating through you in every moment. The language you use, both in your internal dialogue and external expression, isn't just describing your reality, it's actively creating it at levels beyond ordinary perception. There's a crucial distinction that masters of manifestation have identified between the language of requesting and the language of decreeing. When you request something, whether from the universe, God, or some other external force, you're unconsciously reinforcing your separation from what you desire. You're positioning yourself as a supplicant, hoping to receive something from a power outside yourself. But when you decree something, when you declare it with absolute authority, you're operating from the consciousness of oneness with the V, creative force itself. This isn't arrogance. It's the recognition of your true nature as an individualized expression of the universal consciousness that creates worlds. The shift from, "Please let this happen," to, "I decree that this is now manifesting," represents a quantum leap in your relationship with creation itself. Most people have been conditioned to approach life from a position of weakness, asking, hoping, wishing, and praying for circumstances to change while unconsciously affirming their powerlessness. They speak about their desires in tentative terms. I hope to, I'm trying to, I want to, I wish I could. Each of these phrases contains an implicit acknowledgement of separation and lack. The masters take a radically different approach, using language that affirms what is already done. I am, it is, I have, I express. This present tense, declarative language isn't about denying current appearances. It's about aligning your vibration with the reality you wish to experience. Recognizing that in the quantum field, everything exists simultaneously. and your consciousness determines which possibilities materialize in your experience. Your words are the bridge between the invisible world of potential and the visible world of manifestation. Every time you speak, you're placing an order with the universe that must be filled according to its vibrational content. This understanding calls for a complete revolution in how you use language. Instead of unconsciously reinforcing limitation through habitual speech patterns, you begin to deliberately choose words that vibrate at the frequency of what you desire to experience. You stop talking about what's wrong and start decreeing what's right. You cease describing problems and begin proclaiming solutions. You release the story of who you've been and boldly declare who you're becoming. This isn't positive thinking as typically understood. It's conscious creation through vibrational alignment. When your words, thoughts, emotions, and actions all vibrate in harmony with your desired reality, manifestation becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Your imagination is not what you've been led to believe. It's not mere fantasy, not escapism, not childish make-believe to be outgrown. This principle explains why two people can use identical manifestation techniques with radically different results. One person might repeat affirmations, create vision boards, and set intentions, yet remain frustrated by lack of progress, while another person using the same methods experiences seemingly miraculous manifestations. The difference isn't in the techniques themselves, but in the emotional frequency from which they're practiced. When you affirm abundance but feel lack, you're sending contradictory signals to the universe. When you visualize health but feel fear, you're magnetizing the very experiences you're trying to avoid. The emotional component isn't supplementary to the manifestation process. It is the manifestation process. Your emotions are the creative current that either empowers or neutralizes everything else you do. The path to mastery begins with emotional awareness, recognizing that in every moment you have the power to choose your emotional state, regardless of circumstances. This doesn't mean suppressing authentic feelings or engaging in toxic positivity. It means developing the emotional intelligence to process lower-frequency emotions without becoming identified with them, while deliberately cultivating the emotional states that align with your desired reality. Gratitude, joy, peace, love, and enthusiasm aren't just pleasant feelings. They're the most powerful creative frequencies in the universe. When you learn to access these states at will, not as reactions to external events, but as conscious choices, you hold the master key to manifestation. Your task isn't to make things happen through force or struggle. It's to become so emotionally aligned with what you desire that it naturally flows into your experience through the law of resonance. Here lies the great paradox at the heart of manifestation, a truth so counterintuitive that it escapes most seekers on the path to mastery. The paradox is this: the harder you try to make something happen, the more you push it away. True manifestation isn't about forcing outcomes through willpower or continuous action. It's about achieving a delicate balance between directed intention and complete surrender to the intelligence of the universe. This surrender isn't passive resignation or giving up on your desires. It's the profound recognition that your conscious mind, with its limited perspective, cannot possibly orchestrate all the infinite variables required for your highest good. When you surrender, you're not abandoning your vision. You're releasing your attachment to how that vision must unfold. The ego mind, with its need for control and certainty, finds this surrender nearly impossible. It believes that if it's not constantly pushing, striving, and manipulating circumstances, nothing will happen. It mistakes surrender for weakness and tries to micromanage the universe, as if the same intelligence that coordinates trillions of cellular functions, maintains the precise orbital paths of planets, and orchestrates the dance of subatomic particles, somehow needs your anxiety and effort to fulfill your desires. This illusion of control is perhaps the greatest obstacle to manifestation. The moment you truly surrender, when you completely release your grip and trust in perfect unfolding, you access a power infinitely greater than your individual efforts could ever produce. This surrender becomes possible only when you recognize that you are not separate from the universal intelligence but are, in fact, an individualized expression of it. Your desires don't originate in isolation. They arise from the same creative force that sustains all life. When properly understood, your authentic desires are actually the universe communicating its intentions through you. This understanding transforms the manifestation process from a solo effort to a divine collaboration. You provide the clear intention, the emotional alignment, and the inspired action when guided. The universe provides the orchestration of circumstances beyond your awareness or control. This partnership operates not through the control-based energy of the ego, but through the trust-based relationship with your higher self. The masters of manifestation throughout history have embodied this paradoxical truth. The less they forced, the more they accomplished. The less they worried, the more precisely things unfolded. The less they tried to control outcomes, the more magical their lives became. They discovered that surrender isn't giving up control. It's recognizing that you never had control in the first place, only the illusion of it. True power comes when you release this illusion and align with the flow of universal intelligence. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means your actions arise not from fear, lack, or the need to control, but from inspiration, intuition, and alignment. Your imagination is the most powerful creative faculty in the universe, the same force through which all things come into being. When properly understood and consciously directed, imagination becomes the bridge between potential and manifestation, between the invisible realm of pure possibility and the visible world of form and experience. The greatest scientific discoveries, artistic masterpieces, technological innovations, and spiritual revelations throughout human history didn't originate in the rational mind. They emerged from the awakened imagination of individuals who learned to access and direct this divine creative power. What most people never realize is that imagination operates according to specific laws that, once understood, can be deliberately employed to reshape any aspect of your life. The first of these laws is that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual physical experience. When you create a scene in your imagination with full sensory detail and emotional intensity, your subconscious accepts it as reality and begins rearranging your energy field to align with that experience. This isn't metaphysical speculation. It's been repeatedly demonstrated through neurological research, showing that the same neural pathways activate whether you're physically performing an action or vividly imagining it. Your brain and body literally begin preparing for whatever reality you consistently impress upon your subconscious through imagination. The second law is that imagination precedes all manifestation. Nothing, absolutely nothing, comes into form without first existing as an image in consciousness. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're reading this on, the building you're in, each began as an image in someone's mind before it existed physically. This sequential relationship between imagination and manifestation is unbreakable. What most people do unconsciously, creating by default through habitual mental patterns, you can do deliberately by awakening to the creative power of your imagination. The question isn't whether you're using your imagination to create your reality. You absolutely are in every moment. The question is whether you're using it consciously or unconsciously, deliberately or by default. When you fully grasp these laws, your approach to manifestation transforms entirely. Instead of struggling to change external circumstances through force or willpower, you focus on creating such vivid, emotionally charged internal experiences that your subconscious mind accepts them as already real. You enter what Neville Goddard called the state of the wish fulfilled, feeling the joy, gratitude, and satisfaction of already having what you desire to manifest. This isn't pretending or self-deception. It's consciously aligning your vibration with the version of reality you wish to experience. When practiced with discipline and emotional intensity, this awakened use of imagination creates a bridge of incidents that inevitably leads to the physical manifestation of your imagined reality. Your task isn't to figure out how your desires will manifest. It's to maintain such unwavering fidelity to the imagined reality that the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself accordingly. At the heart of all manifestation lies a force so powerful that without it, all the positive thinking, visualization, and affirmations in the world will fail to produce lasting results. This force is your emotional state, the energetic frequency generated by your feelings, which acts as the magnetic attractor determining what experiences can enter your life. Most manifestation practices fail because they focus exclusively on thoughts and words, while ignoring the crucial fact that emotions are the true language of the universe. Your emotional state isn't just a reaction to your circumstances. It's the vibrational signature that determines what circumstances can manifest in your experience. The universe doesn't respond to what you want or what you think you deserve. It responds with mathematical precision to the frequency you consistently embody through your emotional state. The revolutionary understanding that changes everything is this: emotions aren't simply feelings that happen to you. They're energetic choices that you can deliberately cultivate regardless of external circumstances. Most people live at the mercy of their emotional reactions, believing they must wait for something good to happen before they can feel good. This backwards approach keeps them trapped in cycles of limitation because they're attempting to use the effect, external circumstances, to create the cause, emotional state. Masters of manifestation operate from the opposite understanding. They cultivate the emotional frequency of what they desire to experience before any external evidence exists, recognizing that the emotional state must precede, not follow, the manifestation. You do your part with full commitment while completely releasing attachment to outcomes, trusting that what unfolds is always in service to your highest evolution, even when it doesn't match your limited expectations of what that should look like. What would your life look like if you fully embodied the principles we've explored? If you moved through each day not as a separate individual struggling against circumstances, but as a conscious creator, aligned with the very force that sustains the universe. Imagine waking each morning with the unshakable knowing that you're not at the mercy of external events but are actively generating your reality through your consciousness. Picture yourself navigating challenges not with fear and resistance, but with curiosity and trust, recognizing each obstacle as feedback rather than failure. Envision relationships characterized not by need or attachment, but by genuine love and mutual expansion. This isn't a fantasy or spiritual ideal. It's your natural state when you awaken to who you truly are and the creative power you've always possessed. The awakened life isn't about escaping problems or achieving some perfect state where challenges no longer exist. It's about transforming your relationship with everything that arises. When you truly understand that your external reality is a reflection of your internal state, you no longer waste energy fighting against circumstances. Instead, you use everything that appears in your experience as information about what's operating in your consciousness. Difficulties become opportunities for healing and integration rather than proof that something is wrong or that you're being punished. Success becomes not a matter of luck or privilege, but the natural outcome of aligned consciousness. This perspective doesn't deny the reality of systemic challenges or physical limitations, but it places the power of response firmly in your hands rather than leaving you at the mercy of circumstances. Living as a conscious creator isn't something you accomplish once and then move on from. It's a moment-by-moment choice to remember and embody your true nature. There will be times when you forget, when you slip back into old patterns of thinking and reacting, when you temporarily believe in limitation and separation. This isn't failure. It's part of the human experience. The difference is that now you know how to find your way back to truth. Each time you catch yourself operating from fear, lack, or separation, you have the opportunity to consciously shift your state, to choose again from a place of awareness rather than unconscious conditioning. This ongoing practice of remembering and returning is the essence of the awakened life. The invitation before you now is not to adopt a new belief system or to perfect some spiritual technique. It's to recognize that you've always been the creator of your experience, whether consciously or unconsciously. It's to accept responsibility for your creative power without guilt for the past or anxiety about the future. It's to begin, right now, in this eternal moment, to align your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions with the reality you desire to experience. There are no prerequisites, no special qualifications needed. You don't need to become worthy or prepare yourself through years of practice. The power is already within you, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. The universe isn't testing you or making you prove yourself. It's simply responding to the consciousness you embody. When you change, everything changes. Not because you've manipulated external reality, but because you've shifted the consciousness from which all reality emerges. The awakened life is available, right now, requiring only your recognition and acceptance of what has always been true. You are the creator, disguised as the creation, rediscovering your infinite power.